Hello, my lovelies. Today I have another round of Have I Read It? So stay tuned. Hi, hello, welcome. If you're new here, Have I Read It is one of my multiple TBR games that I play in order to help pick my TBR for the upcoming month. And in this one, you get to help pick my TBR. So what happens is I go and I react to a book haul from over 3 years ago, and I tell you if I've read the book, if I haven't read the book, if I've unhauled the book. And out of all the books that I still own that I have not read, you get to vote for which book or books you want me to read. And based on how many there are that I still own that I have not read, will determine how many of the books that I have to pick. So if I have 10 or less, then I have to pick the number one voted book. If I have 11 to 20, I have to pick the top 2 voted books, and so on and so on. Sometimes I've had a time where I've only had to pick, like there's only been one book to pick. There's also been a time I think maybe I've had a time where there were no books, but I'm not sure. I know I have had at least one where it was just one book. But I've also had times where I've had to pick the top 4 books. So you never know what you're going to get. So today I'm going to be reacting to my book outlet haul for July 2019. I've got it pulled up already. I've got my earbuds connected. So let's get started. Hey guys, it's Melanie. Today I have my July book outlet haul for you. So stay tuned. So as you may have seen from my thumbnail, I have 2 boxes of book outlet books to show you. I'm so excited. Let's get started. Okay, in my first box we have paper, 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 and my receipt. Okay, so the first book that I have in here is Made You Up by Francesca Zappia. Okay, I do know that I still have this one and I have not read it. I'm pretty sure I haven't read it. Let me double check. Yes, I have not read this one. So let me write it down. This says, reality, it turns out, is often not what you perceive it to be. Sometimes there really is someone out to get you. Made You Up tells the story of Alex, a high school senior, unable to tell the difference between real life and delusion. Okay, so if you want me to read this, vote Made You Up. All right, let's get back to the video. All right, next up. Next up is a book that I got for Xander, and that is The Candy Shop War Arcade Catastrophe by Brandon Mull. I still have that, and I have not read it. I didn't end up unhauling it to Xander. Hold on. Okay, so that one is actually book 2 in the Candy Shop War series, and it looks like I have the first 2 books, and I haven't read either one of them. So I wouldn't read the second one, but you can vote for the first one, which is just called The Candy Shop War. So let me write that one down. Okay, so this says, what if there was a place where you could get magical candy, moon rocks that made you feel weightless, jawbreakers that made you unbreakable, or candy that gave animals temporary human intelligence and communication skills? Imagine what your pet would say. 4 young friends, Nate, Summer, Trevor, and Pigeon, are befriended by Belinda White, the owner of a new candy shop on Main Street. However, the gray-haired grandmotherly Miss White is not an ordinary candy maker. Her confections have magical side effects. Purposefully, she invites the kids on a special mission to retrieve a hidden talisman under Mount Diablo Elementary School. However, Miss White is not the only magician in town in search of the ancient artifact rumored to be a fountain of youth. She is aware that Mr. Stolt, the not-so-ordinary ice cream truck driver, has a few tricks of his own. So, if you want me to read this, vote The Candy Shop War. Sounds super cute. All right, next up. Next up is a book I'm really excited to get. That is A Midsummer Night #NoFilter by William Shakespeare and Brett Wright. I'm not sure if I read that one or not. I really enjoy those books though. Let me see. Okay, it looks like I do still have it and I have not read it, so let me write that down. That is pretty much a Midsummer Night's Dream told in like text form, like text and emails and emojis and things like that. And they're so freaking cute. And I very, very, very much enjoyed them. I've read a few others like the Romeo and Juliet one and the Hamlet one. Alrighty, back to the video. Okay, the next book I have in here is Altered by Jennifer Rush. I'm not sure about this one. I am not doing great here. Okay, so I do still own this one, and I have not read it, so let me write that one down. This says, everything about Anna's life is a secret. Her father works for the branch at the helm of its latest project, monitoring and administering treatments to the 4 genetically altered boys in the lab below their farmhouse. There's Nick, Cass, Trev, and Sam, who has stolen Anna's heart. When the branch decides it's time to take the boys, Sam stages an escape, killing the agents sent to retrieve them. And that's all I'm going to read of that. So if you want me to read this, vote Altered. Oh, and if you wanted me to read the other, the last one, vote A Midsummer Night. So often I forget to tell y'all what to vote for. All right, next up. Okay, next up is The Afterlife of Holly Chase by Cynthia Hand. I have read that and very much loved it. I still own it. All right, next. And then I have a few graphic novels in this box. So the first one I have here is Road to Riverdale, stories that inspired CW's new Riverdale TV series. I have unhauled that. Next. So while I was at it, I was looking at other graphic novels because I do really enjoy graphic novels. I only kind of started trying them out last year, and I'm kind of finding which ones I like and which ones I don't. I've found a couple that I've liked and quite a few that I haven't liked, but I wanted to try out some more, and these two I had never actually heard of before. So the first one is May, Volume 1 by Jean Ha, Wesley Hartman, Rose McLean, Paulina Gaucho, and Kendall Good. I have read and unhauled May. Next. And the other one I got is called Bounty by Curtis Weib, Mindy Lee, Leonardo Olay, and Nate Picos. I'm not sure about that one. I feel like I might have unhauled it, but let me double check. Yes, I did unhaul that one. Next up. Okay, now on to the next box. Got my receipt here on top. Then we've got some paper, and more paper. So the first book I see is one I think I may have accidentally gotten 2 of, because I think I already have this book. 1 second, hold on. Yep, I sure enough ended up ordering a book that I already have the exact same edition of, and that is Anne of Green Gables by L.M. Montgomery. I've unhauled it. Next. Okay, next up we have Losing It by Cora Carmack. Okay, I'm not sure about this one. I have to look it up. Okay, I do still have Losing It, so let me write that down. This says, sick of being the only virgin among her friends, Bliss Edwards decides the best way to deal with the problem is to lose it as quickly and simply as possible, a one-night stand. But her plan turns out to be anything but simple when she freaks out and leaves a gorgeous guy alone and naked in her bed with an excuse that no one with a half a brain would ever believe. And as if that weren't embarrassing enough, when she arrives for her first class of her last college semester, she recognizes her new theater professor. She'd left him naked in her bed about 8 hours earlier. So if you want me to read this, vote Losing It. All right, let me get back to the video. Looks like we're about the halfway point, and at this point, there's only 5. All right, next up. Okay, this next book was totally a book cover buy, but then the story sounds really interesting too. And that is Midnight at the Bright Ideas Bookstore by Matthew Sullivan. Okay, I have to look this one up because I'm not sure. That seems like one I'd keep, but I don't know. Yes, I do still own that one, and I have not read it, so let me write that down. Okay, this says, when a bookshop patron commits suicide, his favorite store clerk must unravel the puzzle he left behind. Lydia Smith lives her life hiding in plain sight. A clerk at the Bright Ideas bookstore, she keeps a meticulously crafted existence among her beloved books, eccentric colleagues, and the book frogs, the lost and lonely regulars who spend every day marauding the store's overwhelmed shelves. And that's all I'm going to read of that. If you want me to read this, vote for Midnight at the Bright Ideas Bookstore. Okay, next up. Okay, the next book in here is actually the third book in a trilogy, and that is The Bitter Kingdom by Ray Carson. And the trilogy is The Girl of Fire and Thorns. I have not read that one, but I believe I've unhauled the whole series, and if I haven't already, I'm going to, because I read the first book and did not want to continue the series. I'll check later. I'm just going to say I've unhauled it because I will if I haven't already. I'm pretty sure I have. All right, next up. Next up we have Autoboyography by Christina Lauren. I have read Autoboyography. That was actually one of the group books for Season-a-thon in the past, and we had Christina and Lauren on my channel, which was very cool. I'll link that live show up here if you want to go and check it out. All right, next up. So this next book is another one that the cover like really caught my attention, and it's a book I'd never heard of, but it has an afterword by an author that I've heard of. This is a separate piece by John Knowles, and it says Afterword by David Leviathan. I feel like I unhauled this one, but let me check. Yes, I did unhaul that one. All right. Next up. Okay, next up is Ghost by Jason Reynolds. I have read and unhauled Ghost. Next. Okay, next up is The Memory Key by Liana Liu? I don't know. I'm not sure on this one. Let me look. I have unhauled this one. All right. Next up. Okay, then the last book of this haul altogether is one I'm really excited for. It's an anthology, and these are all new stories from the world of Lewis Carroll's Alice in Wonderland. It's called Mad Hatters and March Hares, and it's edited by Ellen Datlow. I feel like I still own this one, but I'm not sure. Also, I'm missing that hair color. I'm like, oh, that's a pretty hair color. I'm tempted to go back to it. Let's see. Oh, nope, that's one I ended up unhauling. All right, next up. Oh, that was it. That was the last book. Oh my goodness. So we only had 6 on this one. So I only have to pick the number 1 voted book. So we have your choices to vote for, and you can vote for as many as you like. We have Made You Up by Francesca Zappia, The Candy Shop War by Brandon Mole, A Midsummer Night #NoFilter by Brett Wright and William Shakespeare, Altered by Jennifer Rush, Losing It by Cora Carmack, and Midnight at the Bright Ideas Bookstore by Matthew Sullivan. All right, so comment down below which book or books that you would like to vote for, and I'll be announcing the winners in my next Cards Against My TBR. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give me a big thumbs up. If you'd like to see more videos like this, click that subscribe button down below. And until next time, remember to always be completely you. Bye.